Hello, we are going to see about materials management in this presentation. Materials management, a major component or major term that is used is inventory. What is inventory? It is the collective stock of items. It is all the items which is required for normal functioning of the business. So normal functioning is normal trading activities of the business. What all does it include? It includes raw materials, semi-finished goods, finished goods, tools and supportive items. They are all kept in the custody form. When you say custody form, it may be kept in the factory premises or in the godown. So that is what is implied by inventory. Now classification of inventories, just now we saw what all is involved in inventories. First one, you have the raw materials. What is raw materials? They are materials on which operations will be performed. It has not yet been performed, so it is new and it is will be converted into a desired product. Example, you have the steel, wood, rubber. Semi-finished material means those for which some work has been completed. There is work in process is going on. So the work has been partially completed and it is waiting for the next process. Next one is the finished material. These are the final material and they are ready for dispatch. Next, inventory will also include the tools that are used. What are tools? They are used for operations in manufacturing, like you have the drills, the saw, the cutter and all that. Then you have the machinery spares, that is the spare parts. They are required to be kept in inventory. When there is a breakdown, when there is a repair, then these spare parts will be used. So it is just additional material. Something goes wrong, then that is removed and the spare is used. Then you have the supplies. Supplies only support the activities of production. They don't go into the product. That is, they are not the final part of the product. That is, for example, you have oil, grease and all that, which help the machine to run, but they don't form part of the final product. Then you have the standard parts. Standard parts like nuts, bolts. So if you are into a manufacturing process, you will not go and produce nuts, bolts and all that. You will outsource it or you will buy it from outside. So they are bought out from the market. So these all the raw materials, semi-finished goods, finished goods, tools, spares, supplies and standard parts, they form the inventories. Now, why is this management of inventory important? Because you will buy these inventories. So when you buy, you should decide what is the amount or what is the quantity of stock to be stored, and when to buy them, when to place the order, how much to buy, and what items that you are supposed to buy. So all these things, decisions must be made. Making of these decisions relating to inventory is called as inventory management. Why materials management? What is the objective of materials management? It is, the primary aim is to see that the right things are available at the right time with right control and procedure. So correct things should be ordered, it should come at the correct time, and there should be proper quality control and it should follow a particular process. So for to see ensure all this only, you should manage your materials. Now what all does it include? What all is the scope of material management? It starts right from the process of purchasing. So you have to plan the purchases properly. You receive the materials, then you check for the, you see whether the quality is good enough or what you say is validation. Then you have the inventory control. Okay, you accept it and you store it, you put it in or sort it out. So that is called as inventory control. And then you have the warehousing and storage. So you may not hold everything in the factory premises, you may store it in a warehouse or godown, and then when necessary you will issue the materials, and finally it is ready for consumption or end use. So at each stage when you try to manage it, that is called as materials management. right from purchase till the consumption or end use of the materials, the material management activity should be carried on. So to manage the inventories, what are the techniques that are available? So you have ABC analysis, just in time, MRP, EOQ, minimum safety stock, and VED analysis. So first we can take the MRP, or the materials requirement planning. So how do you plan for your materials? So here you estimate that there is going to be so much of sales. For that you need some material so that you manufacture it and keep it ready. So that process of planning for what to buy is called as materials requirement planning. So you have decided what is the material that you have to buy. Next one is you place the order. So this one is EOQ, or otherwise called as the economic ordering quantity. How much to place the order? What you decide on three materials A, B, C. Then you decide how much of A, how much of B, how much of C. So to decide that, you have the EOQ model. Then you decide when it should arrive. So that is called as the just in time or the JIT method. So under just in time, you don't hold the stock at your place. That is, you keep only that much of inventory which is needed during production. So only when the production process begins, the goods are arriving at your premises, factory premises. So this is regarding the time when you should place, when the goods should arrive. Then once it has arrived, you try to categorize it. You categorize based on two methods. One is ABC analysis for your goods. So ABC is otherwise called as always better control. So this is just a method of classification. You might have received 100 or a truckload of goods. So you have to sort all the 100 or the truckload of goods into different categories. So that is called as ABC analysis. If you categorize for spare parts, so that is called as VED analysis. That is called as vital, essential, and desirable. So VED is used for categorizing spare parts, and ABC is used for categorizing the normal materials, normal raw materials that arrive at the godown. Apart from this, one more term you have is the minimum safety stock. At any time you should not be in a position where there is a stock out. To avoid that, you will always have a minimum level of stock in your hand. So that is called as minimum safety stock. And you apply the rule of 80 to 20. What is the meaning of 80 to 20? It means that 20% of items in the inventory have rupee value of 80 percentage. So let's say you have 100 units of a product. Among that, you have 20 percentage, 20 units or 20 numbers have higher value. That means they are worth maybe 8,000 rupees, whereas this will be worth only 2,000 rupees. So that means though there are few units, only 20 percentage is there, only 20 units are there of one type of item, but their worth is how much? it is higher, it is worth 8,000, and there are 80 units which is worth only 2,000. For example, in your house you may have about 5 pieces of jewelry, and there may be maybe let's say safety pins or something that are lying around, maybe around 30 or 40. Now just because this number is more, you cannot say this is more important. Which is more important? These 5 is more important. Why these 5 jewelry, golden jewelry are important is because of the amount, because of the value that it has. So this is categorized as A, this is categorized as B. So that is what it means, that 20% of the items, very little percentage of the items have rupee value of 80%. They have a higher rupee value. So A class of items is monitored closely. So which will you keep under lock and key? You will keep your gold under lock and key, because even though there are only 5 pieces of golden jewelry, still its worth is very high. So you monitor it closely and attention given to them is maximum. So this is the role of ABC analysis. So that is how you categorize the inventory. Now, once you have categorized into 3 types, what do? Priority treatment is given to A type. So the treatment is priority, and more importance is given. You control maximum these A type of inventories, and you determine the accurate determination of order quantity, because the cost of this material runs into several lakhs. You cannot just like that go and buy. You have to decide whether you really need it, and only then you can buy. Then you frequently purchase, that is, you will buy only little of it but in a frequent way, and it is purchased only in small quantities. You cannot buy truckload of these items, whereas all this will be medium. When compared to this, it will be normal, reasonable, intermediate and average. Here it will be the opposite. There is little control, no priorities, no computation, infrequent, and you can buy in bulk. Just like that, you can buy quite a large amount of this and keep it. So that is how you categorize and decide how you have to treat each of the types of inventories. Now, steps to do ABC analysis. How do you do this ABC analysis? First, you prepare a list of all the items and estimate their annual consumption. So let's say that you have 4 types of items. So you have, first you are listing all the items. Rather than ABC, let's have it as P, Q, R and S. So this one, maybe you use only 1 unit of this item. This you may be using 4 units. This may be 5 and this may be 10. So what you are doing, prepare a list of all the items, and then you are finding the annual consumption. How much do you consume each item? Then you determine the unit price. So what is the cost per unit? So this unit, as I told, it may be very costly. So let's say this is 1000 1 unit. This can be just 200, this can be 50, and this can be maybe 50 itself. And then what you do, so what you are doing, determining the unit price of each item, then obtain the annual consumption. So annually how much you will be consumed in rupees. So consumption in rupees, how much? 1000 into 1000, this will be 800, this will be 250, this will be or let's say this is just 5 rupees. Okay, so that there is a difference, and this will be 50. So this 3 steps you have done. You have categorized items, seen how much you will consume each month. Then what you are supposed to do is you have to arrange the items in descending order. So descending order, the highest is above 1000, then 800, 250, then 50. You have arranged it in descending order. Then calculate the cumulative annual usage. So accumulation means first one you will write it as it is, then you will write 800 sorry 1800. You will add 1000 plus 800, 1800, then 1800 plus 250, it will be 2050, then 2050 plus 50, it will be 2100. So first value plus second value plus third value plus fourth value, you cumulate it. So calculate cumulative annual usage and the number of items in percentage. So this, when you accumulate this forms the basis for your y-axis. When you are going to draw the ABC graph, this value you will use in the y-axis. And for the x-axis, what you are going to do, two things you do. First one, you calculate annual usage, and next one, number of items in percentage. How do you do number of items in percentage? Here you have number of items that you have used. In percentage means first P, the total how much is 10 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1 is, you have totally used 20. So 1 as a percentage of 20. So Y first item is 1 by 20. Second item is 4 as a percentage of the total. 5 units as a percentage of the total number of units. Then 10 units as a percentage of the total number of units. So if you see the percentage, multiply each by 100, you will get it as, for first one you will get it as 5%, next one is 20, next one is 25, next one is 50. So that is how you will get the P, Q, R and S values. So this is, then you will draw the graph. So this value will be forming the x-axis. So what you are doing first, all this here I have stated only 4 items, but there will be n number of items. Now list all the items, write the unit price of each. Unit price in the sense 1 unit costs how much, then find the consumption in rupees. So totally in rupees how much you have consumed, 1000 units each costing 1, so 200 units each costing 4, 50 each costing 5 means you will multiply these both and arrive at these values. Then cumulate the values, you write it here and cumulate it, that will form the y-axis, and that is the cumulative annual usage. Then find the number of items in percentage. Number of items is, this is the number of items, totally you have used 20 units of all the items together. So how much is each as a percentage of the total? So 1 by 20, 4 by 20, 5 by 20, 10 by 20 into 100, each value multiply by 100. So you will get this value. So here if you say item P, you are using only 5%, but see the value it is 1000 rupees. Item S, you are using 50% of your items, you are using only S, but its value is only 50. So when you draw it in the form of a graph, so once you have categorized and done the calculations for x-axis and y-axis, then you do the ABC chart. So as I told earlier, on the y-axis you will have that cumulation value, cumulated percentage of total value, the amounts you cumulated, right, as 1000, 1800 and all that. So those values will come here. So we have done with a smaller value amounts, but here actually these values are not from the example that we have done. So that problem that we did is different and this is different. The point is just to explain to you how an ABC chart will look like. So y axis will be this, and x axis we had that percentages we calculated. So first item was only 5%, next was 20%, next 25, next was 50%. So against 55% you will mark what was the value that was there. Then against 20% you will mark what is the value that was there. Then you keep on going like that. And if you see here, 50% will have the, against 50% you will have the final value that is coming here. Now if you see here, when you say 5% of the items, but this block is quite big, it shows how much of value it is. This is more value. Whereas if you see this one, the length is quite long, lot of items are there, but if you see the shading, it is quite narrow, its value is very small. So uh, inventory that comes in this category, so here in this example they have taken, there are 32 items that come in this category, their value is only 5.3 percentage, or revenue, in the sense they give revenue to you. Whereas here in this class A items they have seven items. We saw there only, we have categorized it as only PQRS. So here there are nearly 7 items, and this block shows that it is of quite a high value. So these items must be controlled more. This needs moderate control, and this need not be controlled a lot. So, though problems may not be asked, you should be able to draw this diagram for ABC analysis. So, this is one of the techniques of categorizing the products. So, totally, if you see here, how many products have arrived? 32, 11, 7, 32 items, 32, 11 and 7, 10, 50 items, types of items have arrived. But among the 50 items, they need to control only the, have stringent control on the 7 items only. Next technique that we will see is the economic ordering quantity. What is the correct quantity to order? What amount should be ordered, or what is the proper quantity to order? So just like that, you cannot buy something even in your home, probably um, for your parents, for cooking and all that, they may buy the correct amount that is suitable for your family's consumption. So that is called as the economic ordering quantity. Now if you see economic, it is based on two major costs. One is called as the ordering cost or the procurement cost. Procurement means getting something. So, what is the cost of getting something? When you want to buy something, when a company wants to buy something, first they'll call for quotations. They will ask people to give quotations. How much can they sell it for? Then, once you receive the quotation, you process it. Once the processing is over, the purchase order, you place the order. Okay, this is how much I want. Then once you place the order, you will receive the material. You receive the material in a godown, and then you have to inspect it. Then you have to spend something on stationery and some expenses on office. This entire cost is spent for ordering something. So just to order something and get something, you are just purchasing. Okay, when you purchase something, all these expenses may be incurred. That is called as procurement cost or ordering cost. Next we have the carrying cost or holding cost. Carrying, or you're carrying the inventory with you, or you're holding the inventory with you, or you're holding the materials with you. For that also it will involve some cost. What is the major cost? It is a storage cost. When you buy a lot of goods, what you have to do? You have to put it in a warehouse and store it. You may have to pay taxes, you have to pay insurance for the tax. The stock will depreciate, and you must spend something for administration charges, office to keep inventory, stock, to keep a record and all that. So all these are called as holding or carrying cost. So we have seen two things. One is ordering and next is holding. Ordering is when you purchase, when you make a purchase. Holding is when the goods have arrived. You are having it in your hand, you're holding it, or you're carrying it in your place, means for that some expenses are there. So that is called as carrying cost. So the economic ordering quantity you can arrive using two methods. One is through the graph and another is using through a formula. This one is economic ordering quantity when you are using a graph. So let's say that annual consumption is around, annually you are consuming 800 units of a product. 800 units per year for 1 year. How will you order this? So one way of doing it is you will order uh, in bulk in January, let's say, first option. So it is option 1. You can either order it in 800 totally. In January you order and keep it till December. Then option 2 is you may order in January 400. Once it is over, again you can order. Option 3 is you can order only 100. Then it is over, you can order again. So this is called as the order size. How much you are placing, getting under each order. That means, so how many orders, number of orders you have to place is here means you have to place only one order. Here 2 times you have to place. Here you have to place at least 8 times. Isn't it? 800 units means 100 is over, again one. So you keep on, because every year you are using at least 800 units. So this is the number of orders that you have to place. Now let's calculate the ordering cost. Given, let's say that each order will cost you rupees 300. Every time you place an order, it will cost you rupees 300. So when you let's see this option 1. How many times you're placing this order? You're placing it only one time. So you will incur cost for only one order, one time order. So it is 300. 2 times you're placing here. So this year it will be 2 into 300. So it will be 600. Here you are placing it 8 times. 8 times you are calling for quotation, you are asking again. So each time you will be incurring rupees 300. So this will cost you 2400. So this is the ordering cost. Next is carrying cost. Here let's say that you have a godown. Okay, so the godown will charge you rupees. It will charge you rupees 100, and it can accommodate only 100 units at a time. Now at a time here, let's take option 3. So it can accommodate 100 units and it will charge you only 100. So here you have to pay only 100. Here it can accommodate, you need to store 400 units, but it can accommodate only 100 units. That means you have to take 4 godowns for rent, and each will cost you 100. So here you have to pay 400. Here it is 800. So you need to take for rent 8 godowns, because one godown you can put only 100. So you need 8 godowns, each will cost you 100. So this will cost you 800. So that is the carrying cost of keeping the goods with you. So then you find the total cost. Adding these both, 300 plus 800, 1100, 600 plus 400, you get 1000. Then you have 2400 plus 100, you have 2500. So this is the total cost. So based on this you draw the EOQ graph. EOQ graph will have two axis. Y-axis will consist of the cost that is involved, and x-axis will have the order size. Order size is this one, how much you're ordering each time. You're trying to find out which option is the best. Is it 1, 2 or 3? Should you place 100 every time, or should you place just 800? Which is the best one based on these two costs? That is what you're trying to decide. So you first draw all the options. So let's say for here, first is for 100. So for 100, ordering cost is 2400. First we will draw the ordering cost graph. So you will take this one, this column, this is x-axis, and this is on the y-axis. So for 100, what is the y-axis value is 2400. So this one. Then for 400, the value is 600. For 400 it is around 600. Then for 800 it is 300. So for 800 it is around 300. So you connect these three dots, this one, and you get the ordering cost curve. Similarly you draw the carrying cost. So now this is again x-axis, and y-axis will be the carrying cost. So now here for 100 it is 100. So 100 value is around 100. Next one for 400 or x-axis value, you will have 400 on y-axis value. So 400 value and here also 400 value. So this is the value. Next for 800 you will have 800. So 800 you will have around 800. So you will connect these three rows, these three values. So you get another curve for carrying cost curve. So the ordering cost curve will slope downwards, carrying cost curve will slope upwards. The intersection between these both you should note. Same way you will draw the total cost also. Total cost you will take, now you will take this as x-axis and this as the y-axis. First you take this value as the y, next you take this is for the ordering cost, this is carrying cost, and this as a total cost, and you will draw the total cost line. Then you find at the point of intersection, from the point of intersection of the carrying cost and the ordering cost, you draw a line down and up towards the intersection of the total cost line, and from this you will draw to the intersection of the y-axis. So this value and this value. So which is the best amount? So we are trying to find whether you should order one time 100 units or 400 or 800. Using this and based on the cost, we can understand that it's ideal to order 400 units. So the point of intersection is called as the EOQ. This is the ideal ordering quantity and it will cost you rupees 1200. So though we may not do any problems on through the graph, you should at least know this EOQ graph, how it is arrived. You have the carrying cost that is sloping downwards. You have the the ordering cost that is sloping downwards, the carrying cost that is sloping upwards. Then you have the total cost this way, and when you draw from the intersection upwards and down, and this point will give you from the intersection, from this will be called as the EOQ level, and when you draw towards the y-axis, that will give the cost of ordering that amount. So here 400 is the correct amount of placing the order each time. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to balance between the in carrying cost and the procurement cost. So we have seen, isn't it, we are trying to balance both the curves. Sorry, we are trying to balance the downward sloping curve and the upward sloping curve, the point of intersection we arrive. When the two costs are balanced, what you result is called as the EOQ, the point of intersection. And so you should be at least able to draw the graph like this. So the two cost, the total cost and the point of intersection between them. Next, another thing you have is called as the safety stock. Safety stock is otherwise called as the buffer stock. It is a lower limit below which the stock should not be allowed to fall under normal circumstances. It is otherwise called as the reserve stock. So three names you have: reserve stock, buffer stock, or safety stock. So let's say you are having 100 units. Till it depletes and comes to 0, you will not wait. When it is at least 5 units, you will place the next order. So this 5 units is called as the safety stock. So showing as a diagram, so you will start from here. So now you are having, let's say this is the 100 units. So you are at 100 units. This is the maximum stock that you have decided. Okay, and you will start using. Once you start using, what happens? It starts to decrease. It keeps on decreasing, and then you have a particular level. So you will not wait till it goes beyond a particular level. So let's say we'll keep it as once it reaches 20 itself, you will start placing the order, and the order is placed here. So this is where you are saying this is order placed. This is a time. So x-axis is time. So you're starting in first beginning of the month by this is maybe by 20. Let's say this is the 1st of January, then this is by 20th of January, it has come to this level, 200 points. So you place the order, but still you keep on using. Immediately the order may not come, it may take some time to come, so it may arrive only on 31st January. So by that time it will reach the minimum stock level. So you always have a minimum stock of 5. So this 5 units is called as the safety stock. Clear? You have maximum of 100 units. Once it reaches a particular level, reorder level, that is 220 units itself, you will place the order. Immediately the new stock will not come. It will take some time. So it will keep on reducing. It will reach the minimum level. Minimum is 5 units. Even 5 units, still you have some stock. So that is the safety stock. So once it arrives, so order placed, so this time gap between placing the order and when the goods is arrived is called as the lead time. So it has arrived, the stock arrives, so now the full, you have now the full 100 units, so it goes up here, so it comes to 100. Then similarly again the process goes down, it reaches reorder level, you place the order, it may reach to minimum level, then again the goods arrive, then it keeps on going like this. So you must know 3 levels. One is maximum level, next you place a reorder, it will take some time. In meantime the goods will still be reduced and you will always have a minimum level of stock, and anything below the minimum stock level is called as the safety stock. And you should know what is a lead time when you place the order and when you receive the order, that is called as a lead time. So reorder level will be between the maximum and the minimum stock level. The same thing repeated again. So you have the demand. So this is mainly to explain the lead time. Lead time is when the order is placed and order is received. So between, you may place order on 20th, the stock may arrive only on 31st. So this difference is called as the lead time. So what is the advantages? You are never left with the no stock situation. You always have a buffer stock there. Then overcrowding, you also don't have too much of materials in hand, and materials are available quickly. You don't have to spend too much on handling of the items, and economies in purchasing is achieved. You are trying to balance correctly between carrying cost and ordering cost. The two graphs, the two lines slopes that you had when you do the EOQ graph. So summary, what we have seen, what is an inventory? It involves all the materials. What are the types of inventories? You have raw materials, semi-finished goods, work in progress, and then you have the finished goods, and then you have the tools, spares and all that. So that is the types of inventory. Why should you have materials management? So that you can have the right goods at the right time with right control and process. Then you have seen the different techniques that are available. MRP for planning the first what is to be done, when, then how much. Then ABC is categorizing. VED, if you use it the same ABC process for spare parts, that is called as VED analysis. Then we have seen what is a safety stock. We have seen in detail ABC and EOQ. For ABC you should at least know this basic graph. So this it will be like this. So this item will have more control. This will be B items, this will be C items. A items you have to control more. This is the, just remember the graph alone, even if calculations may be difficult. Then you have EOQ, you should know two costs, carrying cost and ordering cost. What is carrying cost, what is ordering cost? Again here also you should know how to, the graph at least, two lines, the total line, the point of intersection is called as a EOQ. Then safety stock, again here also you should know what's the safety stock. You have the starting from up, it keeps falling, rising up, falling, rising up. This gap is called as the safety stock. So that's it. Thank you.